Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm going to be doing a book recommendation video. I'm going to be doing the if you liked this book, you will also like this book type of setup. I always like watching these types of videos and I know you guys like them as well, and I have 5 to share with you today. As always, I will link all the books that I talk about down below, and let's get right into it. The first book is The Deal by Elle Kennedy, and this is a super hyped book that a lot of people have read, and I did read it and enjoy it. I have not read the rest of this series yet, but I did enjoy this new adult sports romance. The hero in this story is a college hockey player, and the heroine ends up becoming his college tutor, and in the process of that, he ends up becoming her fake boyfriend to impress a guy that she likes and make him jealous, and in turn they end up falling in love. And the similar book that I have to recommend is Dirty Curve by Megan Brandy. This is also a new adult sports romance. It's set in college, but instead of hockey, this one is baseball. The hero plays baseball and he's flunking his classes, and in order to stay on the team, he has to improve his grades. So he gets a tutor. She really doesn't want to tutor him, but she has to. And she's not interested in his kind of notoriety around the school. She's not interested in sports. And she is a single mother. She has a lot of drama and mystery in regard to her past. So both of these books both have the tutor element, and they're just really good new adult sports romances. The next book I have is See Me After Class by Megan Quinn, and I loved this book so much, and I know a lot of you guys did too. The heroine in this story is a brand new English teacher, and she starts at this high school, and the hero is the head of the English department that she will be working for, and the two of them really get off on the wrong foot. They don't like each other at all. He doesn't like her teaching style, and she doesn't like how stuffy he is. And the two of them end up having this enemies to lovers situation. They start pranking each other, and it is really funny, and it's their romance. The one that I have to recommend is Hating the Boss by Kristen Granada. The hero and heroine in this story end up having a one-night stand, and then like a week later school starts, and she's a new teacher there, and he is the school's principal. And something happens where they get off on the wrong foot there. I think they had some kind of misunderstanding after their one-night stand, and they start playing pranks on each other. It's enemies to lovers, and both of these stories have some steamy scenes at the schools if that is your thing. And if you like teacher romances, I think you would love either of these books. The next book is Arrogant Devil by R.S. Gray. This isn't one of her most popular romances, but she's such a popular author that I feel like a lot of people have read this one, and it's one of her older titles. I know it's at least a few years old. The heroine, I believe, is recently divorced in this story, and she goes to visit her sister who works on like a farm or a ranch. But when she gets there, she realizes her sister is on vacation, and her sister doesn't want to leave her high and dry, so she says that she will work for her boss while she's gone. And the heroine ends up having to work for this guy who owns the ranch, and the two of them really don't like each other. It is enemies to lovers, and overall this one was a really enjoyable read. The one that I have to recommend is Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. This also takes place on a ranch, and the heroine in this story gets a brand new job as a horse trainer, and she gets hired by one of the owners of the ranch. But when they meet in person, there's some miscommunication because based on her name is Billy. The hero misunderstood and thought that she was a man, and he doesn't really want to hire her, and of course she really hates that. And she's also running away from her past, just like the heroine in Arrogant Devil. And Billy is very sassy. She's a very strong heroine. So that's something I loved about both of these books, is the heroine was very strong and sassy and had a lot of attitude. So if that is your thing, I think you would love this romance. Then we have Make Me Yours by Melanie Harlow. This is the second book in the Bellamy Creek series, and this is a small town brother's best friend romance. So it's kind of taboo because it is that brother's best friend, and the hero in this story also is a single father. The romance I have to recommend is Feels Like Love by Jenna Hartley, and this is also a brother's best friend romance, but the hero and heroine end up rooming together because the hero needs a place to stay, so he ends up staying with the heroine, and the heroine is a single mother. This is also a small town romance, and so there's a lot of similarities with the two romances with the tropes, but some of the major differences is the hero in Make Me Yours is the single parent, whereas the heroine in Feels Like Love is the single parent. But overall the vibes are very similar, and I think if you enjoy Melanie Harlow's books, you would also really enjoy this first book in Jenna Hartley's new series. The last one is Beautifully Broken Pieces by Catherine Cowles. And this is a small town romantic suspense. The heroine in this story is new to town. She has just experienced something pretty tragic and she needs a fresh start, and so she goes to this small town. There's a main family in the town that is well known, and the heroine ends up renting a little house on their property, and the son of the family is the town's sheriff or the head cop or something, and they end up having a romance. And like I said, it has romantic suspense, it is small town, and I really enjoyed it. The one that I have to recommend is a newer release, and that is Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. And the heroine in this story, her grandfather is the mayor in this small town called Quincy, and she lived in a different town, but she needs a fresh start, and she gets a job in Quincy as the chief of police. But no one really wants her to be the chief of police because they think that she got it due to nepotism, but she really did work to get the job and she wasn't just handed it. The first night she's there, she ends up having a one-night stand with a guy who she thinks lives out of town, and the guy thinks that she is a tourist. He comes from the family called the Edens, and they founded Quincy, so they're kind of like the family in Beautifully Broken Pieces, where they're very well known in town. They have a lot of influence, and he lives on the ranch right outside of town. And all these bodies kept being found on his ranch, all these dead girls, and the heroine in this story ends up having to investigate it. So this one also has a mystery suspense element, just like Beautifully Broken Pieces, although the plot lines are a little bit different in regard to those mysteries. If you like Catherine Cowles books, I think you would also really like this book from Devney Perry. So those are 5 romances I have to recommend for you guys today. I'd love to hear if you've read any of these books and if you think the recommendations are pretty good as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on my next one. Bye.